Hello everybody, welcome back to G Views. I'm a 21 cisgendered white girl who loves talking about movies and TV. So for today's G View, I am looking at Zack Snyder's Justice League. This recently came out on HBO Max in the United States and Sky Cinema in the UK. I watched it yesterday. This is the second version of the Justice League film. The first one came out in 2017 and it was originally directed by Zack Snyder, but Zack Snyder had to leave the film for personal reasons, and then Joss Whedon, who directed, he done Buffy, he done Buffy, he had done Buffy, and he did the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. He came in and he re-edited and reshot different scenes and basically created a completely different film. So I'm really excited to talk about this movie, so let's get onto it. So Zack Snyder's Justice League. Wow, this is a film which I don't think many people thought would ever happen. It kind of happened after a massive Twitter hashtag of release the Snyder Cut. I keep saying Schneider. Snyder Cut, because the Joss Whedon or the Justice League one was only 2 hours long, which for a superhero movie is so short, and also for a superhero movie where you're introducing characters like the Flash, Cyborg and Aquaman, and these are all characters we haven't really met before. So for 2 hours it's just not long enough at all. So my original thoughts of the first Justice League, I thought it was surprisingly fun. It was really short and very inconsequential. You know, Avengers Endgame, when they all come together and Cap says Avengers Assemble, you're like, yes, I care about these characters, I'm gonna remember this moment for so long, this is cinematic history right now. Watching the Justice League, I was not feeling that at all. I don't think anyone was, because we hadn't seen these characters, we didn't really care about these characters. So Zack Snyder has been very hit or miss. I do like Watchmen, but again, it's very dark and very Zack Snyder. He likes a lot of style over substance, I find, a lot of the time. So I was intrigued because I know there were new clips, like the Joker clip they had, that was completely new, that wasn't in the original version. So I was intrigued. The film is 4 hours long. I've never watched a film that long in my entire life. Lord of the Rings Extended Edition Return of the King, I guess, is four hours long. So with that, I haven't watched Gone with the Wind. I know that's a long ass film. I'm not watching that at all. So I was like, oof. So I did have a few breaks. I had to watch Drag Race UK. Congrats, Lawrence Chaney. It has different intervals. It's got part one, and then it would insert the father, the son or something, and then each little bit. So it is the same film, but it feels completely different. And I must say, I don't know whether it's because I came in with very low expectations or because I perhaps didn't go in with any expectations, but I was honestly pleasantly surprised with this movie. Yes, there are Zack Snyder isms that, style over substance, and some really corny slow motion and focusing on things which perhaps don't need to be there. But as a coherent film, I actually quite enjoyed it, because you got to understand the characters and you actually got to like the characters and know more about their backstory, instead of being crammed into a 5-minute introduction and then boom, they're off to fight Steppenwolf. It introduces Darkseid, who, if you guys don't know, Darkseid's kind of like the Thanos of the DC comics, the big bad guy who is really, really powerful. And I've always been a fan of Darkseid. I think I'm glad he was in it, and he was a big part of it. Steppenwolf had completely changed. His design was more grand and less icky. They put definitely more money into the CGI. They had characters we hadn't seen before, so the Joker. They had Martian Manhunter, who is a member of the Justice League. And they had like Iris West, who was completely cut off. So it's kind of introducing these new characters. And I really think the film benefited from that, especially with characters like the Flash and Cyborg. I'm a big Teen Titans TV show fan. Cyborg is one of my favorites. He's very funny. He's still quite serious. He never said booyah. He said booyah in the other one, but it felt very forced. I was just waiting for him to say booyah, but he didn't. But you know, he had more to do, and he had more backstory, and you understood him more, and you cared about him more. And he had funny moments, like you saw him getting more comfortable in his robotic skin. And the same with the Flash. Like the Flash is probably my favorite character. Just really funny, quippy. I think Ezra Miller is great as the Flash. Also, I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. I think she was great, especially because after the hideous Wonder Woman 1984, there's a scene where she is saving this group of children, and she talks to the girl and to the little girl when Diana had saved the day, and the little girl was like, I want to be like you, and Diana's like, you can be whoever you want to be, princess. And I was like, this is so cute. Like, that is Wonder Woman. And Henry Cavill is there, and he's looking dreamy, and he doesn't have the weird CGI like trying to erase his mustache, which was so gross. But I was like, oh, Henry Cavill without a shirt off. It is a lot darker, it's a lot bloodier, people fucking die. I was glad to see it. Steppenwolf gets like, it was less like corny. I mean, obviously there are corny things, like Zack Snyder loves some weird like singing, like this Icelandic, I don't think she's Icelandic, but there's like, she seems like she's from Denmark, Iceland area, singing this weird song to Aquaman. It was really weird and very long, a lot of slow-mo, and it was just ridiculous. I was like, come on, like, I understand you want to savor the moment, but it was just too much. I think the score, like the Wonder Woman, every time she was on screen, it was like, ah, 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 ah. I was like, right. I will say the CGI sometimes looked horrendous. Like the Martian Manhunter guy looked horrific. I don't know why they just didn't do prosthetics and like make him green, because it just looked horrendous. Like, it was just very obvious, just like with Steppenwolf and Darkseid. I think they could have made Darkseid look a bit better, maybe more grey and less like scaly. But overall, Justice League, the Zack Snyder one, was a pleasant surprise. The 4 hours is long, but just do me and like watch Drag Race in the middle and it'll be all good. I honestly thought it was going to be bad, because I was like, I hated Batman vs Superman, but it was good. And I think it's a refreshing surprise that this is, I swear this hasn't been done before, where like through Twitter and through gaining momentum, that, you know, another completely different cut of the movie is there. Like 2 hours of footage was on the floor, and you know, like reading about the behind the scenes with the Joss Whedon things, especially with how Ray Fisher has come out and said, I was completely mistreated by Joss Whedon, and Jeff Johns, it was a negative, toxic environment. I'm so glad that Cyborg gets to really shine in this movie, because he's such an important character. I think Ray Fisher did do him really well. Maybe a tiny bit more fun, but you definitely saw his development. And I think with the Joss Whedon one, Cyborg and the Flash were completely cut out, so you can, it was like obviously a toxic environment, and I stand with Ray Fisher, what he's saying, I believe him, and I think it's time to take accountability and to kind of get rid of these toxic directors and producers who are creating an environment which is horrific, and they're creating content which isn't good. So if I have to give Justice League a rating, I'd probably give like the 2017 one. When I first watched it, I was like, this is fun. I'd probably give it a 7. but I'd probably give Justice League, the original, like a 5 now. And then I'd give this one a 7.5, which for a Zack Snyder movie, which is 4 hours long, is not bad. So I think I would recommend this movie if you're a DC fan, you love the superheroes, you like Zack Snyder, but for like a casual viewer, perhaps not. Like 4 hours is long. Also, the Joker scene at the end with Batman and the Joker, Jared Leto, was so good. Honestly, this Joker looks completely different from the Suicide Squad Joker. You know, I've always kind of like, when I first watched Suicide Squad, I kind of had a crush on Jared Leto as the Joker. I don't know, the bad boy. He's kind of pretty. Now I can see he wasn't the best, but he definitely redeems himself. He's a lot like uglier, like more disheveled. He doesn't have the tattoos of style, and he and Batman have this kind of one-on-one like conversation about you know, Joker killed the boy wonder Robin, and Batman's like, when Harley Quinn died in my arms. This is about like a future thing when Lois Lane has died. I was like, this is so good. Like, I want to see more of that, but I don't think Zack Snyder's going to do another one. Like, this is his ta-ra, his farewell. Now we've got another Batman with Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I kind of want a sequel. I want a sequel, which is weird for a Zack Snyder movie. I'm not a Zack Snyder fan, so this is weird. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked this G-view of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure to comment down below if you have any other movies or TV shows you want me to G-view. I will have a look at them. And also, alongside my previous video, I will put my Instagram and my Twitter bios, which are also in my YouTube header, so make sure to check them out. They're great places. I hope you guys are staying safe. We're almost free. And stay COVID negative, and I will see you soon.